Oh, so you're
So,
gonna record this too?
yeah, is that
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, my question is, I'm fascinated by the indigenous people, mostly in Hokkaido and parts of what's now Russia, because they're kind of mysterious to me. And all I know is that they look different than Japanese people. Like the men have big, full beards.
Mhm.
Um, what coming from Hokkaido? What were you taught? What did you learn about the Ainu people? And do you have any Ainu ancestors that you know of from your mom?
Well, my mom is from not from Hokkaido. She's
Oh,
from Aomori Prefecture. We moved into Hokkaido when I was very small, and but I have a my mom became really close friend with one of the Ainu person. She's an activist, and sorry, I'm gonna close the door. Okay, I'm back. um, so I got to visit this Ainu family's place every summer, which was like 2 or 3 hours away from our home. So we stayed at their place for like a week, or they also held a like festival, summer festival thing for a week. So yeah, there I learned a lot about Ainu culture, and at school in Sapporo City, there were like in each class there's about like 30 students, and one of them looks a bit more like Ainu identity, like mixed kind of person was there. So that was the kind of percentage of Ainu identity. Am I saying right? I don't know.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And so I learned a lot about Ainu history. It's almost same as other indigenous people's history. They have been killed, genocide, when I was at school, these Ainu looking people, they don't know that they have Ainu blood until they become adult or until their parents die. The parents Before the parents die, they finally like tell them that you have an Ainu identity or something like that. So it's that taboo kind of culture is there, not talking about it. Or like my mom's best friend, um, she was an activist. She really tried to raise awareness about Ainu culture, and also they brought they were and she was standing for nature, so she was also environmental activist. And but it's like totally very minority group. But I learned a lot from her, that how I'm connected to earth, to the nature, how to appreciate the nature, food, water. And so I think that one of the reasons why I became climate activist is definitely connected to this experience when I was small.
I read that there's only maybe 15 Ainu language speakers left. The language has almost disappeared. Is there, like in the states and in Canada, there's an effort to capture, record, relearn the indigenous languages and
Mm.
preserve the culture. I think people are realizing how valuable it is. Is that happening in Hokkaido?
Yeah, a little bit. It's not a big project, but there are young people learning about Ainu language. And so when I was visiting this person's house, she was like raising a lot of a child from like almost like orphanage kind of place. But this woman knew that their parents, this child's parents, So she was taking care of the child of those parents who cannot raise, like they don't have time or anyway. So one of the, not only one, but like I became friend with a lot of these children, and like almost half of them are still working to raise Ainu culture, like keep going. And they work at the museum, Ainu museum, and they have been creating like not TikTok, was it TikTok? Like video or being invited on radio talking about it. So it's kind of still going. The culture is still going.
What are examples of the culture, like rituals or practices that you learned that were different from traditional Japanese practices?
The practice, of course, the language, and also they have original belief, spiritual belief, and there's so many gods, and for each god there's a symbol to express that god. So they do the knitting to express what this is a river, this is the fire god, and they put it on their clothes or like on their band. And also the men, I don't know how to, I don't know the English.
They wear beards?
No, the shave the wood, or like they would make, when they make the knife, the holding place, they have original design too.
Oh, I know, like they call it a sword scaffolding, like or the case for the sword that you would wear around your belt. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay, thank you. And of course they sing and dance. Original song and dance is there. And they live in like, not now, but they have this original housing shape. In the middle of the house, there's a fireplace, and the fire keep going there. And I don't know what else. I think there are a lot more, but
they're animists, meaning they think that they're spirits in nature. So would they think that this tree has a spirit and I should be respectful of this tree, and this river has a spirit and I should be respectful?
Yeah. Every lives, like salmon, animals. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like, did you ever hear of Findhorn Garden in Scotland?
No.
There was an amazing, it still exists. Some people started farming on this rocky coast along in Scotland, and they succeeded beyond anybody's imagination because they called on the devas, Devas, the spirits of like the cabbage. Or they would say to the rat deva, please take your rats someplace else because we need this and this. Or, you know, gopher deva, please go someplace else. And so they communed with the spirits of the vegetables, the plants, the animals. So I think it's kind of the same spirit of recognizing that there's intelligence in nature.
Yeah. I recently learned that like native people's culture only exists in like not Europe, but also in white culture there are, like including Scotland, where there you can see them, their culture can be seen as indigenous people's culture. And if we think that way, my father is from Scotland, Isles Lewis. It's Northern Ireland. And yeah, the way he lived there was when he was young was like really connected to nature, and the culture still were there. So maybe that's where I don't know, feel the connection to the Ainu culture.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah.
Right. I think Japanese word is kami. Is that right? Kami. Kami is like the spirits of nature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you like clap when you go to a temple to get the attention of the kami. How do you define it?
I don't know exactly, but I think it's connected to Shinto religion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it used to be like that. Like Japanese culture, there's many god, and they play for those god. But I think now the Shinto became more of a praying for emperor, Japanese emperor. So I don't know. I don't know how things changed, and maybe depends on the people how they see this Shinto shrines as nature kami or our emperor. I don't know.
Well, maybe the emperor is like the spirit of the nation. So it's the same as the spirit of the tree, but it's just a bigger representation. It's a bigger group, the Japanese people.
So, that's what I know about Ainu culture and how that affected my life.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.